Hello and welcome. Today I have for you an array of handmade carbon fibre instrument stands. I have a piccolo trumpet stand, a trumpet / cornet stand, a flugelhorn stand and a trombone stand. Now these were very kindly sent to me from a company called Woodwind Design, which is based in the Holland, or also known as Netherlands. And they've sent them to me to review. They haven't paid me to say anything specific, just to give my honest thoughts about them. So let's start with what is probably the most common stand that you might encounter with, and that is the trumpet stand. These three here are the sort of things that you might be used to seeing. We've got this sort of elevated stand with a rubber cone and a spring on the top. If we put a trumpet on that, we have something that's quite high up off the ground, but doesn't have really any stability. It's quite precarious. We also have this here, which is very, very solid, made out of steel, and it has no flex, no spring, no give to it whatsoever. So it holds your trumpet very, very still, but it weighs 100 weight, and so it's very inconvenient to cart around. Both of these stands don't collapse. So that if you want to take them with you, you have to take them pretty much as they are. This last stand here though is a collapsible stand, and what I mean by that is that you can put it in the bell and carry it around inside your instrument. We unscrew the bottom off it, we spread the legs, the three legs, screw it back on, and we have a reasonable trumpet stand. It'll hold your instrument reasonably well, it'll fit in your case, and it is probably the closest competitor to what the Woodwind Design Company has produced. And so this is what we are looking at. It is a simple carbon fibre tube with 4 legs in the inside. The only issue that I've noticed with the trumpet stand is that the 4th leg doesn't really want to fit in. It's got a little rubber ring around it which helps support the bell, and because all 4 legs have those little rubber rings, it's a bit of a squeeze trying to fit this in. However, the friction holds it in place. It's not going to fall out. Now these legs also have a magnet, a tiny little magnet up in the end of them. That magnet helps keep the other legs in place so they don't fall out. And it also helps to keep the legs in place when you insert them into the little holes down the bottom. So we do that and we get a stand that looks like this. Ta-da! So a trumpet sits over the top, there's a little bit of flex in the legs, and then we have this arrangement here. A lovely simple stand that is incredibly light. To give you an example of how light this is, if we get the trumpet stand and the piccolo stand together, these both weigh less than a standard trumpet mouthpiece. The next stand I'm going to show you is the flugelhorn stand, and that also weighs less than a standard trumpet mouthpiece. This here is the flugelhorn stand. We've got a slightly more interesting design with this one, but we still have the 4 legs stuck down the middle, and we still have the main carbon fibre tube. However, only 2 legs have the rubber support in this particular case. And the reason for that is a result of a very interesting design choice, but a design choice that makes perfect sense. You see, the central tube of the stand is not perfectly vertical. It is raked off to the side, and that is because the flugelhorn as an instrument has all of its weight on one side. And so if you put an unbalanced flugelhorn on a stand that tilts the opposite direction, you end up with a result that is perfectly balanced. The center of balance is right up the middle, and so even though the thing might wobble around a bit, you let go and it stabilizes itself perfectly. Those rubber rings that I mentioned about, because of the angle of the flugelhorn, this bell only makes contact with these 2 legs, so you don't need rubber rings on these other 2 legs because there's a massive amount of space there. Finally, we have the trombone stand. This follows the same principles as the flugelhorn stand in that it isn't vertical, it is off to the side because of the balance of the slide. But we've got a few extra accessories here. You would have noticed these little rings, these discs on the flugelhorn stand. Well, we have them also on the trombone stand. These are adjustable, you can move them up and down, and they match the inside contours of the bell section. Now this isn't a very big trombone stand, so what we need to do is to extend it, and we just pull. We've got 2 extra tubes here, and you can adjust the friction that you feel when extending the stand by a couple of little screws inside, so it's perfectly adjustable, and you can set it to whatever height you want. The legs are hidden in its back passage, and so we take these legs out here, and we find a set of 4 nesting Russian legs that all go inside each other. If we take this first leg, it's got a little cutout at the bottom here, which you probably can't see because it's all black. And inside we have a little rubber bumper, so this part makes contact with the ground and provides a lot of stability. And at the other end we have a little hole, and this hole ensures that we've got it around the right way. So this hole should always point up. We've then got some holes around the bottom of this hub, and so ensuring we've got that little top hole aligned, we plug that in to where it's supposed to go. And then we have a stand that is also raked off to the side. It's not quite as dramatic as the flugelhorn stand, but when you've got this extended all the way, it does make for a reasonable tilt. So you put the slide on this side, and you end up with a combination that is very, very stable compared to other stands of this sort of style. So what I usually use as a trombone stand is this thing, which is made out of metal. It's got some splayed legs, and it has this little thing here which bounces around on a spring. So this is what I'm used to using. It's over twice the weight of this, and this here is far more stable. As I mentioned earlier in the video, these stands are all handmade, so they are not particularly cheap. So if you are a school musician or a student and you need something that is solid and reliable, this probably won't be your first choice. The particular niche that these stands fill is, number one, in the aesthetic department. I think they look fantastic. I love the carbon fibre design, but also if you need something that is very, very light. And something that fits inside your bell. If that is what is guiding your decisions, then I wouldn't hesitate to recommend these. I think they're fantastic. The other side of the "it's a handmade product" coin is that if you want a custom made instrument stand, or you've got some unique requirements, then I'm sure they would be able to accommodate them. They get custom requests all the time. So if you've got some weird sort of Oomphalopompatronium that needs a stand, then hit them up and I'm sure they'll be able to discuss that with you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. The link to purchase these stands or to get some more information will be down in the description box below. Thank you very much for watching.